Welcome to the Super League Triathlon Men's Highlights brought to you by Trivello Coaching. My name is Geordie. I'm a huge triathlon fan, and here at Trivello Coaching, we actually have our own triathlon and cycling podcast. It's called the Get Fast Podcast. You can go check it out now. But I want to be super upfront and say that the following footage is all from the Super League. I've looked into licensing the footage. It's quite difficult to find. If anyone knows how to license footage, please let me know. That would be really helpful because I feel like there is a lack of triathlon race coverage across the YouTubes, and I love the sport so much, and I want to see it grow. So here's my highlight video of the Super League Triathlon. It may get taken down as it's probably illegal, but here we go. So the first race of 4 weekends of Super League kicked off in London, and it came out with a bang. The Wilde Kiwi, the Shark, Hayden Wilde. What a performance. I'll be explaining the 10 things I love about you, Hayden Wilde, in this video with this absolutely spectacular performance today. No spoilers yet though, so we'll get into it. Firstly, a reminder of the format. There's 4 different race styles. Race 1 was called the triple mix format, basically 3 super short races in quick succession, just 2 minutes separating each race with an order change of the disciplines. As you can see, it goes swim, bike, run, run, bike, swim, run. Now, the point systems for the races, there are both individual and team points on offer. Could they have made it more confusing a bit with the team points? I'm not sure. You'll have to see what I mean later. And I won't even touch on the team uniforms. Out of all the designs they could have chosen, they went with some of these horrible ones. Anyway, let's give the people what they want. We just want to see the best triathletes in the world go bananas, and that's what we got. So let's get into it. 19 out of 20 athletes lining up in a wetsuit. Very bold of Vasco Valacha on the Sharks team here to go to the no wetsuit option, but it didn't turn out to be too bad a decision. The Aussie Matt Hauser out of the water first. We'd love to see that. And a lightning change to get the first short shoot. Now, what is the short shoot? A reminder, that's this bad boy right here. It means on the final stage of racing today, there's 3 stages. An athlete can use the short shoot on the first or second lap of the run. A massive advantage, some would say. Too much of an advantage. Hint, hint. Hauser held a great lead, but was eventually caught by the front pack and then got a flat tyre, which was incredibly disappointing because he was looking really, really good, the young Aussie. But the Wild Kiwi showed who was boss straight away with a real power move to go to the front like this in the first stage and break away from the pack. It really shows some big kahunas. But he's not all just good looks. It was actually a calculated move to ensure he crossed T2 first and get himself a short shoot as well. And check out this mid-race fist pump, just another reason to love the man. The final part of the race 1 was Vincent Louis leading the way as per normal on a run leg. You won't often see him not at the front when it comes to the run leg, but the 2 Sharks boys end up coming over the top with Louis and Johnny Brownlee unable to respond. So Hayden Wilde and Vasco Valacha taking 1-2 spot. High fives for teamwork on the line and a mandatory finger gun celebration. So this is the top 10 of stage 1 as follows, with a pack start for race 2 where it's run, bike, swim, and we go straight into it. Just 2 minutes before poor Matty Hauser at the back barely got to the start line trying to change his flat tyre. I think that did affect him. He ended up having a DNF. But we go to the pack start for stage 2 where it's run, bike, then swim. Alex Yee asserting his dominance very early. But who's not going to let that happen? It's the Wild thing. That's right. Hayden Wilde comes to the front again. His second power move of the day. He also has the smarts to have his cap and goggles with him, and he chucks them on before the bike leg, saving precious seconds when they get to the swim, because when they get to T2, again, who's first out of there? Well, who do you think? It's none other than my man, and I did warn you at the start of this video that my love for this man is great, and I hope that someday we can become friends. That's Hayden Wilde, and so you can see him getting into the water first. And on the swim leg, the final part of stage 2, Vincent Louis and Johnny Brownlee, again, just too strong in the swim, coming out on top. Now, this is important because wherever you finish, that's where you're starting stage 3, so every second counts here. And stage 3 is bike, swim, run. So if you're a couple of seconds behind, you will start a couple of seconds behind. Now let's look at the results and how the last stage is looking. Louis and Brownlee together at the start. Hayden Wilde in third, 8 seconds back, and is 24 seconds too much for Alex Yee. You'd think so, even with the monster run that he has. Now Louis and Brownlee were off first, and Johnny Brownlee actually says to Vincent Louis here, "Do you have a shoot?" Louis says no to you, and the answer is no, because who does? It's the Wild man, of course. And Matty Hauser had his, but he did not get to stage 3, which is disappointing. Now, this is where the performance gets absolutely ridiculous. It's 2 versus 1, and look at him lurking like the shark he is back there. You can just imagine the Jaws music playing as Hayden Wilde puts the power through the pedals, and with a mountain of an effort, he bridges the gap in the first lap back to the top 2. But also check this out. I have some footage of the GOAT of Super League, Vincent Louis himself, potentially taking a shortcut. Hayden not happy here. As they get to the swim, Johnny does a brilliant job of showing his experience and muscles Wilde out of the way to get on Louis' toes, and they come out of the water 1-2 again, and this race is on. It's a huge gap back to Wilde and Valachi, but don't forget he has the Cash Daddy short shoot, and does he use it on the first lap or second lap? The answer here is he doesn't use it on the first lap and backs himself in like the superstar he is. And can you believe it? After the first 800 meter lap, he makes contact with the front two, and then comes the gap through the chute, and look how much of distance it puts in, and what a finish we have here. Can Louis come back at him? If anyone can, Louis can. And we go up the last rise here. You can see Louis in the background coming home like an absolute train. Wilde is hanging on for dear life. And look at this footage. No one is running harder than Vincent Louis. And I would be panicking my heart in my mouth if I was Hayden Wilde. But he hangs on, sprints right to the end, turns around, knows he's got it. An epic race. Some absolutely insane speed. And look at this guy. That's why we absolutely love him. Like I said, how can you not love him? What did we see in these laps? I mean, we saw multiple athletes under or around the 3-minute mark for the 300 swim. We saw some huge power efforts on the bike and multiple 420 to 430 mile efforts. I mean, Hayden clocking a 413 final mile with a short shoot included. Louis had a 421 final mile. As exciting as it comes, so exciting, so tough. The Super League format and various formats is without a doubt the most exciting format. I absolutely love it. And as you can see, the final results here, we had a couple of Aussies sneak in there. Would have been great if Matt Hauser didn't get a puncture, because he may have been able to sneak into that top 10. And as you can see, the points tally for the teams, I mean, I'm a smart guy, but this was pretty confusing to me. Either way, there are teams and there are points, and here is the leaderboard. Somehow they've worked it out. But I can't wait for next week as we head to Munich. It is the equalizer format, which we know time trials are the race of truth, and that's what they mean by the great equalizer, because it's basically a time trial stage 1. And then wherever you finish after stage 1, that's how you start stage 2 based on your time ranking. So cannot wait for Munich next weekend. Hope you enjoyed these highlights. I absolutely loved the race. Hope you did too. We'll see you next time.